Direct from Montreal, Canada, this is Rock Talk with Mitch Lafon. Rock Talk with Mitch Lafon.
Welcome to this episode of Rock Talk with Mitch Lafon. Joining me on the phone, it is a legendary singer, Lou Gramm. He has recently re-released his Juke Box Hero, My 5 Decades in Rock and Roll book. He's added a few chapters since the original version. He, of course, reunited with Foreigner, did a few shows with them, even released a live album, Then and Now Live Reloaded, celebrating the 40th anniversary of Double Vision. Before we get over to Lou, I just want to talk quickly about the Motley Crue, Poison, Def Leppard, and Joan Jett tour. They recently announced the addition of 6 shows to the tour, bringing the total to 28, and of course, the internet warriors were out in full force bashing the tour. And I just don't understand. You know, I got a few that said, well, you know, they're playing baseball stadiums. They're not actually playing football stadiums. And that came on the news of not only the 6 additional shows, but the fact that the 9 of the original shows were sold out. And they're like, well, you have to remember they're selling out baseball stadiums. They're not selling out football stadiums. And it's just like, well, really? What exactly stadium show are you selling out, my little internet troll? Huh? Oh, I'm sorry. You don't have a stadium show. Oh. Well, then how about you crawl back into your hole and you just bugger up, you know? Be quiet. I'm so tired of those folks just bashing everything. You know, the other day I put a couple of pictures of Vinnie Vincent from his Merry Metal Christmas show, and right away, all the trolls came. I was just like, you know what? If you're not interested in Vinny, you're not interested in the Poison Motley Crue tour, you're not interested in whatever, fine, don't be. But why the need to be mean-spirited and nasty? Just go away. You know, what I do is celebrate the music. And so people that come to my Twitter and my Facebook generally are in the mood to celebrate the music. So when something is posted, come and celebrate it. And if you don't like it, ignore it. Listen, I go through a lot of websites, whether it's the Ultimate Classic Rock or Classic Rock, you know, the two best and really only legitimate sources of rock out there. I go through that stuff, and sometimes they post about bands that I don't like, and I avoid it. You know, and people are going to say, well, what about Nirvana? Okay, listen, I do post about Nirvana, but that is meant in a comedic sense. It's not meant in a bashing sense, though, I guess. All right, if I'm going to be perfectly legit, then maybe I'll stop posting about Nirvana. But anyway, those shows, 28 stadium shows, 750,000 tickets sold so far, which, hey, I'm impressed with. But I am more impressed with singer Lou Gramm. Foreigner, Mick Jones, Lou Gramm, and all of them just dear to my heart. So without further ado, yes, there is some more ado. Hold on. About 3 hours after I concluded my interview with Lou Gramm, the Franklin County Fair in Malone, New York, announced an August 14th show for Lou Gramm, John Payne, and Steve Augeri. So you're going to get an evening of Asia, Foreigner, and Journey music at the Malone County Fair, or the Franklin County Fair, I should say, in Malone, New York on August 14th. And yes, guess who will be there? Okay, you're guessing Lou Gramm and John Payne, and no. Of course they're going to be there. They're on the marquee. I will be there. That is going to be the better part. I will be there to enjoy the local Pizza Hut and the fine shopping at the local Walmart. And then, of course, a great evening of rock music. And let's get over to a great morning of rock interview listening. Here is the one, the only, legendary vocalist, Lou Gramm. We're speaking to the voice of a generation, at least that's how I like to call him. It is the one, the only, Lou Gramm. Bonjour, Monsieur Lou Gramm. How are you?
Very good, Mitch. Thanks.
Yes. So, well, let's see. We're going to focus on the Juke Box Hero, the updated version with these extra chapters. Talk to me about revisiting the book. It came out, I guess, in 2013, give or take. And you sat back and you said, okay, we need to update it and add a few extra chapters to sort of cover these last few years. Apart from just adding the chapters, did you go back to any of the other original chapters and sort of say, hey, I need to fix stuff here, I need to add, or is it really just the other chapters at the end that are new?
I think it's just the time between where the book ended and more or less now, just kind of bringing the book and everyone up to date on anything new and exciting that's been going on.
Good. Now, we've only got about 15 minutes here, so I'm going to jump to different topics. Recently, Foreigner released the Double Vision, Then and Now Live Reloaded, which I have in my hands because I love it. And talk to me about putting that album out, and is it sort of a way to bring closure to the whole Foreigner experience, to sort of say, okay, I sang on the first one, and on this potentially the last one, here I am again. And what was that experience like to share the stage with Kelly and Mick and all the other guys?
It was fun. The really exciting part for me was performing with the original band, and really enjoyed myself. Everybody's playing was way up to snuff, which is something I was worried about. I'd been performing continually, but a lot of the other original guys had more or less put their instruments away. But I think when everyone learned about the possibility of this reunion, everybody boned up on their instrument, and it was extremely tight and punchy and exciting.
Yeah, it was.
And performing with the new band was really cool too. They're great guys. They're really good musicians, and everybody got along.
They are, and I saw the show at Mohegan Sun last December, and I have to say the standout moment for me, other than seeing you, and was Dennis Elliott. I mean, for a drummer to come in after all these years, sometimes as you get older, you lose a little. But Dennis was a monster. Holy mackerel! I think maybe he's gotten better, actually.
After we left the stage that night, that thought stuck in my head that he has gotten better, because I certainly do remember Dennis's playing back in the day, and I always thought he was excellent, but he was so in the pocket, and his fills and his syncopation and stuff like that was right on it, and I thought to myself, this guy's gotten better.
Oh yeah, that same impression from the audience. Now, it also last December, I saw you in Schenectady, and from the stage that day, you said, well, it's been a great career, and I'm going to step away. Of course, 2019, you did other shows with John Payne and so on, and you didn't step away. Talk to me about that decision and what it sort of meant in the grand scheme. What were we stepping away from? Did you rethink it after and say, hey, I'm not ready? What happened?
Well, actually, the show in Schenectady was the last show with my band. Okay,
right.
That was the last show with my band. So that band came to an end. Every other show, everything else that I've done has been a guest appearance.
Okay, so now, do you see yourself moving forward with a new Lou Gramm band at some point, or do you see yourself no? Okay. In terms of,
I don't think so. I don't mind the guest appearances where I sing 4 or 5 songs and I'm done. It's fun. I walk away from there not exhausted and ready for more. It feels good, and I could see myself doing that kind of thing for a little while longer. It's doing the full shows and then getting in a bus or wherever and going to the next show the next night. That's the stuff I feel like I've had enough of.
Well, fair enough. I mean, you get to a certain age, it's just like, really, I'm going to take a 7-hour drive to Hershey? Like, ugh, Right, and then get 4 or 5 hours sleep, and then it's time for sound check, and then you got 2 hours, and then the show. I've been doing this for 45 years, and I'd like to back off that schedule now. Yeah, if it's all right. Yeah, it's fine. I think you've done more than enough. I will ask you this though. You were going to do some shows in October with Foreigner, and you fell ill. How is your health now? Are you ready to go back? And are there more shows with Foreigner coming down the line, or was that?
You know what? I don't know. That's entirely up to Foreigner's management, and as of this point, I haven't heard anything. It hinges a lot on Mick's health, which is good. So I've heard, but again, I'm just waiting to hear if there's anything planned or if there's nothing planned, and that's it. I'd like to do some more shows with Foreigner. I have a lot of fun, and with the new band as well. I think it's a real interesting combination, and I think the audience enjoys it as well. But it's entirely up to Foreigner's management, and whatever they want to do is okay with me.
Good. Well, let's see. Let's hope it happens. You have spoken publicly about having some unreleased songs lying around that you might want to rework. Where are we in terms of that progress? Is that something that you're still actively seeking to do and put out whatever leftover Shadow King? Okay.
Yeah. For my solo albums from Shadow King, there's probably about 9 songs, and I think I'm going to be putting out maybe the first 3-song EP. Probably early this spring.
Oh, wow, that's great. I'm looking forward to that. Now, also, somewhere around 95, 96, you had recorded some demos with Foreigner that included drummer Ron Wixo. I think there's 4 or 5 of those lying around. Is that something that you might want to revisit as part of these EPs, or?
Well, it wouldn't be part of these EPs because these EPs are from my solo albums and my Shadow King. That's kind of in my realm. The other EPs with Ron Wixo and stuff is Foreigner. Mick and I both have those demos, and those are really good songs. I would love to do something with them. It depends on Foreigner's management, on if Mick feels that they're good enough to continue working on. I know Mick didn't have those songs somehow. They got lost when he moved, so I provided him with a CD, and I know he's listened to them. I know he likes them, but that was way over a year ago, and I haven't heard anything about doing anything with them.
Well, let's hope. Last year marked 40th anniversary of Double Vision. This year marks the 40th anniversary of Head Games. I just want to ask you a couple of questions on that. In terms of importance for the band's career, how important was Head Games? Because, Foreigner is one of these bands that their first 5 albums were top 5 in the Billboard 200 chart, which is remarkable when you think about it. No sophomore jinx, no third album tiredness. You guys just kept pumping it out. So how important was Head Games in the overall career for the band? And just talk to me a little bit about the 40th anniversary, looking back on it.
Well, I think Head Games was a learning experience for us. We worked with Roy Thomas Baker and recorded that album in Los Angeles, and we had a lot of good song ideas and some good songs, and I think that for the most part the album was pretty brash, but we came into the recording sessions with some song ideas that weren't really finished. And it was an insane, hectic schedule there. And as I recall, we didn't have the time that we usually had to do the album. So we were a little bit rushed. And I think we walked away from the studio, finished thinking that some of the songs were very good and some sounded a little unfinished. Which was okay. They sounded a little rough and not quite polished like a Foreigner song would be polished. And I didn't mind that, to tell you the truth. So it was a very good album, and I think it showed a very raw side of us, and I liked it.
Yeah, listen, I love it. I think "Love on the Telephone" is one of the greatest Foreigner songs that just doesn't get enough love on radio or in concert.
Yes, you're right. You're right. That is a cool song.
That is a great song. Let me ask you this. You did have your first 5 albums charting in the Billboard 200. You watch almost any Hollywood movie since then, you're going to hear an Urgent or a Dirty White Boy or something somewhere. The band still tours. You still can put out a book and people still want to talk to you. You have this great impact on American culture. And then you look at an organization like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and they don't even consider you for the ballot. Why do you think that maybe Foreigner doesn't get the respect that it's due? Because, listen, for me, it's a no-brainer that you should have been in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame when they stuck the shovels in the ground. So,
well, I think we get every bit of respect that we're due, except from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I don't think they're. I mean, Mick and I are in the Songwriters Hall of Fame. That's an incredible honor when you think about all the people that have been writing songs together for the last since Francis Scott Key wrote the anthem. You know, so I'm thrilled to be in that fraternity, and I believe that it's not so much that we don't have the credentials to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I think somewhere mixed in there is politics, and it's actually a shame that has to rear its ugly head, but what else could it be, honestly?
Well, it has to be. I mean, they kept Kiss out for many years, but anyway, let's get off of that and let's get back to the songwriting here because we're down to our last sort of 5 minutes. But the Songwriters Hall of Fame, of course, is where you and Mick, or at least the story goes, where you and Mick sort of reconnected and all of this stuff that came afterwards, the Double Vision shows, the Double Vision album, and all this. How important was it for that evening to get that award? Because to say you're a great singer is one thing, but to say, you know what, you're also a great songwriter, because ultimately a band comes down to great songs. You can be the best musicians, but if you have no songs, it doesn't matter, right?
That's right. You are totally right. That was an award that really touches the soul, you know, because you're right. Before the performance and the feel and rocking out and all that, there's the song. And if you have people writing for you, that's one thing. But if you are a rock band that writes their own songs, they better be damn good. And I feel that for the most part, our writing was exemplary, and I'm very proud of it. And to be honored like that is to me is the pinnacle.
Oh, I agree. And I mean, of course, the book Juke Box Hero, My 5 Decades in Rock and Roll, is of course out now. The updated paperback version is available. And I will finish on this. Over the years, you know, there has been sort of a give and take with Mick Jones. There's been brotherly love, and then there's been brotherly, fighting, if you want, right? To be inducted into the Songwriters Hall of Fame with him, the hours and hours that we've spent pouring our heart and soul out to make a song reach people, you know, whether it's a ballad or a rocker, you get to know somebody pretty good, and I'm very proud that we were inducted into the Songwriters Hall together. I think that helped mend the fences and bring our friendship back to the forefront. Right. And so I was going to ask you this as a question. What has he meant to you, both professionally and personally, over these last, and I guess we're looking at almost 50 years, right? 45-ish kind of years. What has he meant to you? I mean, he's not just the guy who played guitar, right?
Oh, no. I mean, we formed a strong friendship right from the word go. There was no trepidations about it, and we genuinely liked each other, the work we did together, I think expresses that. I think there are so many good moments in the songs that we wrote together that I don't think two people could not be friends and write the kind of songs that we wrote. There was a lot of give and take, and you know, as a musician and a songwriter, I learned so much from him, and you know, was able to reach the point where I had the confidence in my own abilities that I didn't know that I would ever have. I got very lucky and very blessed to be in a band and have a writing partner like Mick Jones, and you know, he means a lot to me.
Yeah, one of the best partnerships in rock history, right up there with the Jagger and Richards and Simmons, Stanley and Tyler Perry. It's just one of the best. Anyway, I know that we're done. You. Yeah, you're welcome, and I know we're done on time. So I sort of rushed through that because there's so much to talk about, from Black Sheep to Bruce Turgeon to the solo stuff But on that, I will say,
well, we'll do another one where there's no time limit. How's that?
That sounds great to me. Thank you, sir. Always a pleasure, and good luck as always. And I hope to see you on the road again soon. Always a great performance.
Excellent.
Merci.
Thank you so much.
Cheers. Bonsoir. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now.
This has been Rock Talk with Mitch Lafon. For more exclusive content and interviews, subscribe on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, on YouTube, and many more. Follow Mitch on all the socials, especially Twitter, @Mitch Lafon, and on Instagram, @Mitch_Lafon. Get your Mitch merch now at loudtracks.com/Mitch.